So if you haven't seen the clipping, you can go back. It's just a quick picture of me, woo-woo, being all awesome, right? Catching me in a really great moment back in high school basketball. So yeah, my cousin who works for the hometown newspaper must have found it in the archives. She just texted me, look what I found. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And I read it and I'm like, wow, I don't remember that. Right. So I played high school sports, all throughout high school, and I was okay. I enjoyed it. I had some decent stuff, but I was by no means a college player or anything like that. But I love sports. I love to play. I love to compete and play. So, I've got some awards. My mom has a wonderful scrapbook she made with all sorts of clippings, right? We were a small town. There's only so many people that can show up that you're eventually going to show up in there, right? So anyway, she sent this to me and I read that and I'm like, wow, I don't remember that particular game, or I don't remember that. That makes me look like I did a pretty awesome job at the time. But here's what I wanted to, right? I've talked to you guys about counting wins for how long now, right? And I've talked to you about it repeatedly, right? And even last week we talked about counting wins. So here's the point in that. So this was a pretty awesome picture and memory for her to share with me, right? So anyway, I was like, ooh, I felt pretty good. I'm like, look, I gotta show my girls. But here's the funny thing, right? I'm like, I don't remember that particular game or when that was or whatever. But I'll tell you one thing I do remember. Morning, Kristen. Here's something that I do remember. I remember a different game that was part of a championship where I didn't make the shot, and not that a game is made or broken on one shot, but I do remember getting a nice assist pass and a shot that would have helped us win a game, and I missed. And I remember that one. But it's funny. I mean, I remember that one specifically often. I don't feel horrendous about it, but that's stuck in my brain, right? If we think back, I'm like, oh, I can remember that time I missed that one particular shot, right? Out of the thousands of shots I had taken in my career, and with this little picture and article making me, that was clearly a really good shot at a really clutch time. I don't remember that one. So here's my big point in this. This is why we are counting our wins, because our brain is going to pick up and remember and remind you about all the shit, so to speak, and not automatically remember all the stuff. The stories that we have, our unconscious mind continues to look for proof. And if my story was like, oh, I'm not as good as, I missed that, and start creating a story about I sucked, I ruined the game, whatever that might have been at the time, and then that sticks, and then it looks for proof, right? Our unconscious mind is finding all the little things that would continue to prove that and tell us, see, I told you so, but not the one, no, look at all the times you were awesome, so to speak. It's not reminding us of those. That's why you have to build the new pathways so that it does remind you of those things. Because when you remember those things and you start choosing the story that, holy shit, I was pretty good, I did some awesome things, you start to feel unstoppable and bulletproof in that area of your life, which spreads to others. So that's my reason for sharing that with you, is to remind you how important it is to count your wins every single day, especially in the areas that you're struggling, right? Because we're just finding, your brain is on autopilot, finding the reasons that you're not successful in that area that you're struggling with, why you're stuck, telling you all the reasons why you'll never get that success, so to speak, right? So that's why I point out, this was just such a perfect example. I'm like, I don't even remember that particular one, but I sure remember that other one. So that being said, throw your wins from the weekend in the comments.